just can't beat this guy. Who? This guy? He's Batman. Of all the Batman I know, he's the easiest Batman to beat. Here, watch and learn. What? This is impossible. How did you do that? I was trained in the League of Shadows. I trained for years in the art of disappearance. How is he able to do what I do best to other people? Show yourself! Face me! How did you do that? Let me tell you a secret. This Batman never looks to the left. What? This is impossible. How did you do that? I was trained in the League of Shadows. I trained for years in the art of disappearance. How is he able to do what I do best to other people? Show yourself! Face me! Hello and welcome back to the KenOhwee Channel. As you saw from the intro and the thumbnail and everything, you know who I'll be talking about today, and he is none other than S.H. Figuarts Batman, also known as the Keaton Batman from the 1989 Batman movie directed by Tim Burton. This was actually a Tamashii web exclusive, which meant finding him was extra difficult and costly, but no matter, because he's here and look at that box design. You can see the figure at the back where it's usually just images of what this figure can do, and there's plenty of scene recreations which shows how much dedication they have towards recreating the 1989 Batman figure in its truest form. So did they ultimately succeed? Well, let's find out. So sit back, get your blended fruit juices ready, and let's take a closer look at the Batman. After spending a few hours on this figure, sadly, this figure is far from perfect. But let's talk about my first relief, which was his eyes. I thought the printing would screw up Keaton's mesmerizing eyes, but it turned out better than expected. Look at those eyes, so striking. In fact, his eyes were so striking that I found it hard to recreate that image from his box, because any light hitting those eyes would just bring it out. It's almost scary in its own ways. Reminds me of Pennywise's eyes.
Hiya, Georgie. I'm Batman.
Also, I love how controlled Bandai was with the color scheme. You'd think they used every opportunity to make this a shiny Batman, but no. Matte black throughout the body, muted matte yellow on the belt, and shiny black only on the boots, which is a shock coming from Bandai. And this figure is also sculpted beautifully. All the abs sculpted, the Batman logo is done accurately, you know, that weird tail that looks like a genitalia. Heck, they even went as far as to paint all the dots on his glove with utmost precision. So if you're taking effort into consideration, then yeah, this figure receives the same attention to detail that they would give to a Shinkocho Seiho figure. But then comes all the other design decisions that are questionable to me. For example, the cape. They wanted to make it feel premium, so they gave Batman this synthetic leather looking material. But this material is just way too thick, and since there aren't any wires in there, it'll naturally be in this flared out position. And if you try to push it back, it just looks unnatural, and it's hard to stay in this position due to the rigidity and thickness of this material. So I do appreciate the fact that they wanted to go premium, but even if they stuck with the cheaper synthetic leather material like the ones Mesco or Mayfax uses, it'll just look and function a lot better. Also, you can remove the cape by removing these two pegs that are holding them in place, but be warned, they are quite tedious to put back and they are very small, which means they can disappear easily if you're not careful, so don't say I didn't warn you. Speaking of function, the way the arm is sculpted, somehow it's always on a bend and can't be fully straightened. They have this groove here around the crotch area to lock the belt into place, and it's only to maintain the aesthetics of this figure, as the lower ab has no other function other than twisting. But locking this belt into place totally locks that lower ab movement. And if you apply a bit of force, Batman splits into half. Okay, since we're already on a roll, let's talk about other decisions that I think were not to the benefit of this figure. The head has essentially no articulation at all because the entire head is one piece and is locked by the Bat logo, though one might argue that it stays true to the movie, which I guess is fine, but then they only give this Batman eyes to look forward and right, but not to the left. So that means this Batman can never look left? Why? Is there never any dangers happening on your left side? Then Bandai made the decision to have interchangeable mouths, which is a nice idea, but the issue is that not only does it have a gap between the cowl nose to the base of his nose, if you give this Batman a tap on the head and with enough force, the chin pops out. But I was lucky enough that for my figure it does take a bit of force, but I've seen videos where this thing pops out as if it has its mind of its own. Yeah, I know I've incorporated a lot of other segments into this one segment, but there are just too many poorly made decisions to ignore. If we're solely talking about the looks of this figure, then yeah, just by standing upright, figure looks amazing. But just like the Imagination Works Goku figure, it is hiding a lot of engineering imperfections. I've removed his cape to demonstrate the full extent of his articulation. So, I've already said what I needed to say about his head, so suffice to say, it doesn't move. He has armpit rotation, and of course his arm can do the 360 as well. His arm can move outwards that much. He's got the arm swivel instead of the bicep swivel, which is unfortunate, but at least he's got an elbow rotation to help with that. Wrist can do the 360 and move up and down. As I talked about earlier, even though he's got 2 ab cuts, bottom ab doesn't do much, so the upper ab helps the figure arch backwards really far. He can only crunch forward that much. Wish it was more. His legs is the standard Figuarts where it can be pulled down and he can do that much of a split, kick up that much, kick back that far, thigh swivel, knee bend, feet's got a bit of a twist. Sad thing is that it can't really pivot side to side a lot, and moving up and down is a little limited, and so are his toe curlers. Man, Tim Burton's suit is a prison. Moving on to the Batcave, and this is where things pick up a little bit. We start with the hands, where he comes with the usual face punching hands, face grabbing hands, the crotch smashing hand. Yeah, you heard me. Didn't you watch the scene?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I know it was quick, but he definitely used this to crush that man's crotch. Anyway, moving on, you got the Batarang throwing hands, you got one hand to hold the grappling gun, and of course you got hands to hold the baton. What baton, you ask? Well, of course, it's the batons in the cape. Yes, that is the only way Keaton Batman was able to spread his cape, through these batons on each side. While you have him equipped like this, if you turn it side to side fast enough, it kind of looks like he's trying to flap away, like a real bat. I mean, if you want to be creative about it, you could use them as weapons when Batman's back is against the wall. Speaking of weapons, he comes equipped with these little spiky shuriken thingies, which if you take your eye away for 1 second, there's a chance you might lose them. He also comes with one Batarang with slightly more detail than usual Batarangs, and of course the grappling gun, but the ends can't be removed, and one missed opportunity here is that this gun can't be hooked to the belt, and it would have been awesome if it could, you know, like in the movies. And he also comes with this gauntlet, and like the movie, the ends can be moved outwards, and if these comes off, don't worry, it's not broken, you can peg it back in. Unless you use too much force, then yeah, you possibly broke it. So all I'm saying is don't use too much force. And to equip this, make sure that he has his fisted hands on, and the way you do this is simply slide it to his forearm. And the fisted hands along with the width of the forearm is what's holding this weapon into place. So it doesn't pop outwards, which is a surprise. But it does slide up and down fairly easy if you don't secure it in place. But still, credit to the details on this thing. And lastly, of course, as you already saw earlier, he comes with another cowl with the eyes looking to the right, and to equip this, simply remove the crest and pop the entire cowl out and place the cowl that you want. And also shown earlier, it comes with a pair of interchangeable mouthpieces, and there is a difference between the two where the other has the teeth slightly showing. I guess they were trying to mimic this expression, I guess, but in certain angles, you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference. Either way, as mentioned earlier, although it is appreciated to receive more accessories, they really made a poor decision on how you change this. But the biggest disappointment isn't this. It's of course, as I said earlier, the ability to not look left. Why Bandai? And here is the Keaton Batman action figure, standing next to other figures for scale comparison. So, in summary, the reason why I'm extra hard on this figure is because I have a soft spot for this character, and also I paid a premium for this package, so of course I want my money's worth. And it's clear that Bandai did try really hard to make this the quintessential Keaton Batman action figure, but certain decisions they made just knocked it off that pedestal. So great overall look, great amount of accessories, but deeply disappointed and not to mention frustrated with the tediousness of articulating this figure due to the cape material choice and other figure engineering decisions and interchanging the mouthpieces and head. And this is the last time I'm going to say this Batman can't look left, which isn't right. And with that lame joke out of the way, that concludes my review of this figure. However, these are all one man's opinion, and I'm very curious to hear your thoughts as well. Is this the best Keaton Batman action figure out there, or is there one better? Would you buy this action figure, or is this an instant pass? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you guys and girls enjoyed the review, do hit that like button to show your support, and if you're new, subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care and have a great week. Click here for video 1. Click here for video 2. Click here to subscribe. Click it. Thank you for watching. Arigato. Thank you.